Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. As always, if you're new to the channel, I gotta give you all the spiel. I know there's a lot of you that are already subscribed, but I know there's gotta be someone who's new. So if you're new, if you're someone who just stumbled upon this video, I'm looking at you, Brian, Taylor, Jenna, Margaret, I'm looking at all of you, Ellen, I see you, all of you who are watching. Timmy, I know you're new to the channel. You haven't been watching any of the other videos. That's okay. That's okay. I know what's on screen is probably confusing if you don't know about the channel. But if you're a Zelda fan, I promise it'll all make sense. So anyway, I gotta give you all the spiel. If you're new to the channel, this is Wind Waker Unflooded, a 3D modeling project all about reimagining the world of Hyrule in the art style of the Wind Waker. It is a fan art project, a fan art 3D modeling project. That's the gist. As you know, if you've played Wind Waker, you know that all the islands of the Great Sea are the mountaintops of Hyrule. But we never get to explore Hyrule in the game. We just get to see a small part of it. And even though we get to explore Hyrule in later games, I've always been curious to know what would Hyrule look like in that art style, in the art style of the Wind Waker. So without further ado, this is Wind Waker Unflooded. So yeah. Welcome all. You know, I hope I get some new faces. I will go ahead and say, so this video, you know, just I feel like I always got to get this out of the way. You know, if you're looking for a lot of work getting done, you know, working on a whole new location, something really sexy, something from a previous game that you recognize, location that you care about, this may not be that video. This might be a little slower for you, and you know, if that doesn't really spark your interest, I feel a responsibility to let you know, to let the audience know, you know, because there are videos that I'll do that are like, yeah, that I know that y'all want to see, big locations like Snow Peak Ruins or the Bridge of Eldin, or you know, I imagine that those are bigger locations that you want to see. Working on Castle Town, working on parts of that, all these little things, or all these big locations. And this video is just more about just working on the mountainside, the paths. This is an essential part of the world, of the map, but it's not quite the sexiest piece of modeling, and I like it. Like, you know, I enjoy modeling those sections. I feel the need to say that. I don't know, maybe I'm lampshading too much or hedging or whatever the phrase is for that, but I don't know, I feel like I want to, you know, I want to voice that this video is just more about just working on just some extra paths, you know, around the mountainside, going up to Hateno Village, connecting Hyrule Field to Hateno Village. You know, and I'm doing this video, it's like, because my philosophy, and tell me if I'm wrong, and maybe I've said this in a video before, but my understanding is that, you know, I feel like a lot of y'all are subscribed because y'all are interested in watching the process, because y'all are interested in kind of hanging out with me as I record this voiceover, interested in that kind of podcast format there. Talking about Zelda, talking about this project, and what's on screen is part of that, and you want something interesting to be happening on screen, and you know, you want the time lapse to be interesting, but I don't know, I kind of get the vibe that also that a lot of you who are subscribed are just interested in seeing work get done, and you know, whether it's a sexy location or not, it's cooler if it is a more important location, of course, but I have a feeling that there's plenty of you that are still interested and just wanting to see progress just here and there. And so I want to invite y'all on the ride, and I want to give you that chance if that does interest you, because that would interest me, as I guess what I'm saying. And you know, I do have this feeling that if it wasn't my channel, if this was someone else's project and I was watching it, I would enjoy videos like these, even if they're not the biggest piece of 3D modeling, even if it's not the craziest addition to the world. Just getting a glimpse at just a little more progress in a project that I care about, that's something that would interest me if I was watching, if I was a viewer. So I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking too much about it, but I just wanted to voice all that because these are things you have to think about as a content creator. But I don't know, I guess all this to say is, like, I can defend a video like this, and I do think, like, it's an important video, because I know that, like, I've seen comments, and I've gotten questions from people who are watching the videos, and they're not really sure how the world connects they look at what I've modeled so far and they're like, well, I'm not exactly sure how you're even supposed to get up to Hateno Village. It's on the top of a mountain. Where is the entrance going to be? And this video answers that question. As you can see as I'm working on it, it's connecting from that path winding. I don't know how much you can see so far in the time lapse. I'm not currently watching it. But yeah, it's going to connect, from the top of the village to, Hyrule Field, near the kind of south exit of Hyrule Field there. I call it Hyrule Field. It's, it's also Hyrule Lake, whatever you want to call it. I call it Hyrule Field because it is the main, Hyrule Field area. Even though it is more of a lakeside path now, which I love, and I'm excited to keep working on that. And there's a lot of things in this map that are kind of rough right now, and there's so many things that, like, I want the whole map, like, if you're watching this, maybe I've said this before, but if you're watching it and you want some kind of metric for when is the project going to be done, it is when every corner of the map is interesting. And I think just like when everything, I want, like, my goal is for, like, the 3D modeling and the texture work, and that'll take a little time, but I want it all to feel like up to par, comparable to the quality of the in-game models from the Wind Waker. I want it to feel seamless. I want to keep working on it and honing things in and adding details and adjusting things and adjusting my work until it feels up to that standard, until the world is populated with interesting things around every corner. And it's like I am loose with that metric here and there, but that is my goal, and I feel like it's good to go ahead and say that for you. And it's not a very quantifiable goal, but it is a metric, and we'll find out what that means when we get there. But anyway, I think it's time for a short message.
If you want to be able to support me as a creator, there's several ways that you can do that. Become a member on Patreon. It gives you access to exclusive bonus features and early access content in all of my filmmaking projects. Stuff like early access to scripts that I'm writing, storyboards, previs, rough cuts, and music that I compose. I'm a composer, and any music that you've heard in the background of this video was my music. So go to Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you listen to music and type in Joe Kendrick. That's JoeKendrick. Look up Joe Kendrick on Spotify.
And we're back. As always, yeah, I gotta let y'all know how you can support me as a creator. Just to always remind you, these videos are not monetized. If you saw an ad on this video, it's because YouTube put an ad on the video. This is completely non-monetized from my end. This project is completely non-monetized. So if you want to support me as a creator, becoming a member on Patreon or listening to my music on Spotify or Apple Music, that is all significant ways of being able to support me. So yeah, I just wanted to, I always got to remind you of that. So thank you all for your support. For everyone who is a Patreon member, shout out to all of y'all, and I hope to see more of you there. So that's all I got to say. I don't want to sound like I'm begging. I just want to let y'all know how you can support me and how much that means to me, and the fact that does make possible everything that I do, all of my creative projects. Even just a little bit of support goes a long way to making these projects possible, everything that I do. So yeah. What were we talking about before the break? But yeah, we're working on this mountainside here, and yeah, I guess, like, just to talk about it, like this video, like at the end of the video, like I said, like the work is not super sexy, but there is progress. And this is like a location that is like, it's just a mountainside path. And I guess I'm interested in, I want to open up a kind of conversation with y'all, about like, these are just paths right now. And as it is, it could be something like what I'm doing with Outset Island, where the town of Hateno Village extends a little more. Because in Breath of the Wild, right, it, like there's kind of a forest below the town. And then below that, there's like these kind of ruins, right? And the way it is in this map, there's not room to really completely show that in the same way. But I'm just thinking through it, and like there could still be room for some of those elements as you're going down the path, to have woods that you pass by along the mountain, and ruins kind of in that part of the path that kind of I don't know if y'all can see it yet. I'm not watching, like I said, I'm not watching the time lapse, but in that part of the path that kind of snakes around, that could be room for those those kinds of ruins that you see at the bottom of the basin in the map of in the map of Breath of the Wild below Hateno Village. I'm just kind of thinking through that, and I don't know. It's like, this is a different map. This is a new interpretation, so things aren't going to completely line up, even if I'm recreating locations from other games. And that is just a natural part of working within the Zelda universe, and I think that that's fun. I like how creative this project is because of that. Because nothing completely lines up, it means that if I want to bring new locations to life, there is freedom with how they can be implemented. And that really excites me. But I guess just, you know, with that, whether it's something on this mountainside or anywhere else in the map, I really do welcome y'all's ideas and y'all's feedback and your criticism and your notes. How, if you're watching something and you go, oh, I wouldn't have done it that way, I want to hear that. And even though that's not always easy to hear, and I'm happy to say that, sometimes I'll read a comment and I go, you know, this comment is suggesting I completely rework something, and I really don't want to do that. But it's also like, if you really feel strongly a certain way, I do take that into account. And of course, like, I can't listen to every piece of criticism because sometimes I get comments that contradict each other. So I can't listen to every note that I get because sometimes y'all will say different things. And sometimes I also stick to my guns. And sometimes, like, if I feel like I can defend a decision that I'm making, I will stick to it. But also, like, if you can defend a note that you have and you go, Joe, this is what I'm thinking, and here's why I think it makes more sense than what you have now. You know, that goes a long way to making me go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes more sense than what I was planning on doing. So, yeah, all this to say, I really do invite feedback and notes and criticism, and all that is really valuable. You know, both good notes and negative notes. I feel like a lot of y'all care about the project basically as much as I do. I feel like I care more about it just because I'm working on it. But I don't know. Maybe there's people that care about it more than me. I don't know. But but I know how much y'all care about it as Zelda fans, as Wind Waker fans, as people that have been imagining this world that I'm modeling since the game came out 20 years ago. So feel free to comment down below y'all's ideas. And, you know, I know that comes from a place of passion. And I want to honor, I want to do the project the way you think is right. I want to do right by the Zelda fans and, you know, and the Zelda community, so that we can all share this map as a project that we all can share pride in once it's done. But all this to say, I've ranted for long enough. I think the video's over. I'll let y'all go.